Let's look at some simple Python code. Running this code will produce an output, but what is going on? Well, basically all of your source code is a text file. We need to load it into a compiler to convert it into machine code. The thing is, the compiler will start at line 1 and then turn that into machine code. Then it will go to line 2 and turn that into machine code. It will do this for all your code. This is called sequential or procedural programming, where your code is compiled line by line in sequence, which is why the order in which you write your code is vital. This is why you need to declare your variables before you can use them. However, sometimes your program will want to ask questions and then make decisions based on the answers. This process is called selection, and it allows us to run some code only when a certain condition is met. Imagine you find some money in your pocket. You have a choice. You can go to the cinema or continue with what you are doing. This is a decision in response to the question, have I got any money? If we were to write out this decision in pseudocode, we might write something like this. The key thing to spot is that there is no otherwise. If you don't have any money, you would do nothing. You would just keep going. Let's look at a simple password validator program written in Python. Let's work through each line of this code. Firstly, on line 1, we get the user to input their password and store it in a variable called password. Next, on line 2, we have our if statement that checks if the password entered is equal to 1234. This line of code has 3 parts. The keyword if that starts the if statement, the condition that we're checking and must be true to execute the code. This is called a Boolean expression. It returns true or false depending on if the condition is met or not. A colon that marks the end of the condition and the start of the code that will run if the condition is true. Finally, on line 3 we have the code that will run when the if statement condition is true. In our case, this will simply output a message informing the password they entered was correct. You can have as many lines of code in your if statement as you like. Everything that is indented after the if statement is a code block that will only execute when the if statement condition is true. For example, both statements in this code will only execute when the if statement's condition is true. We can also use complex if statements that contain more than one condition. For example, the following code will check if the username is Ninja and the password is 1234. You can see on line 3 that we use the AND Boolean operator to allow us to check 2 conditions are true before the print statement will run. So, when a program is written, the code is sent to a compiler to produce machine code. The code is converted line by the compiler. This is called sequential or procedural programming. If you want to make any decisions, you need to use Boolean expressions. A simple Boolean expression compares some variables with a comparison operator. A complex Boolean expression will use Boolean operators to link together multiple comparisons. If you want to make a decision, you use an if statement. An if statement is used when you don't have an otherwise in your decision. When you're using an if statement, this is called selection.